Okay, we'll get started here. I'm going to do my part and then step away. I'm happy to introduce our Rocky Mountain Regional Director, Steve Sandridge, who's a senior member on the board actually, and happy that he has joined us as our special guest host for tonight. So with that, I'll turn it over to Steve. Take it away.
Hey, thanks, Henry. Yeah, I think senior just means I'm old, but but no, I've been on the board. I took over for one of our DRDs that passed away actually untimely several years ago. So yeah, it's been several years. But let's go ahead and get started. We have two speakers with us, or two topics with us. If you haven't joined these webinars, they're usually pretty informative. So first up, we'll have updates from Grouper, formerly known as Element 3 Health. And then they have a hard stop at, I think, 7:30 Central. So, and then an update on the AVA mobile walk app. So we'll go about 20 minutes or so and then have a few minutes for questions. And with that, let's go ahead.
Did we lose Steve?
Nope, I'm here. So we can go ahead and start if the Grouper folks want to go ahead and start. We'll all listen in.
Would you like to introduce them, Steve?
Yeah, I can do that too. I think they're online. Looking at the presenters, we should have Spencer Morgan, the founder and chief community officer, and we'll have some updates on the partnership program and how clubs and individuals can participate. So hold your questions probably till the end, and we'll hopefully hear from Spencer. I think next is he on?
Sorry, I don't see Spencer on here.
No, I don't either.
Not on yet.
Okay.
And Mike Green will also be joining Spencer, the chair of our IT committee. Maybe Mike can start while we're waiting on Spencer.
Sure.
Mike, are you on?
I don't see him either.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Mike Green's there. He's here.
Oh, is he?
There you go.
Yeah, I'm here.
Let me give Spencer a little nudge.
Yeah, what I have to say doesn't make much sense without his introduction.
Okay.
My wife is suggesting that maybe Jeffrey should go ahead and do the app presentation.
Well, it'll just take him a second. The thing is, Spencer has to run, so I want to hear from him. Yeah. FYI, everyone, if you haven't registered, you could just do it right away on the website. Just click on the link and then it'll take you directly to the meeting. I myself had forgot to register and I just jumped on right away. Any good jokes? Second here.
Tell us about your Eclipse experience.
Yeah. Anybody want to jump in? Anybody from this region that was here?
Spencer has arrived.
Okay. Should we
Hi,
go?
everyone.
Should we try it again? Steve, take it from the top.
Sure. It looks like we do have Spencer Morgan with us. He's the founder and chief community officer for Grouper, and some of us know them as formerly Element 3 Health. So we'll get some updates today and then have time for a few questions. So over to you, Spencer.
Well, thank you, Steve. It's nice to see everybody, and really excited about the different things that we're doing with your members and clubs. So I just wanted to quickly review the different programs that we have with AVA, and there's the program that many club leaders are aware of, and that's where members coming to our site through our health plan partners encounter some of the walks that you have. Typically, it's the year-round walks, which are listed as solo walks on our site, and they RSVP for those, unless, of course, you've updated your club's group walks, which we encourage everybody to do. And the members come from their health plan, they find those clubs, those walks, and they register for them. So that's kind of been going on for the last, I want to say 2 years now. Another program that has been been in operation for a while now is the program for existing AVA members. And you may have received emails. I know you'll receive more emails about that, and that's kind of the way that we work with many associations, that basically encouraging you to check to see if you're eligible. And if you are eligible as an AVA member, you will have your membership dues covered. You can also have your primary local club dues covered. So the first step is to click the link, go see if you're eligible. If you are in fact eligible, you will be asked to attest your dues, and you will receive a check in the mail for those dues within 45 days. And periodically you will get emails from Grouper to ask you if you've been engaged with your walking passion that month, with your walking club that month, and we encourage you to respond to reply to those activity emails so that we can continue to cover your dues next year and the year after. So those are the two programs. I'll pause there. Does anybody have any questions about those two programs? No? I wanted to also say, I think sometime in the next coming days, hopefully next week, we'll have a landing page for club leaders where you can access materials to expose to distribute to your members, so that flyers and email templates that you can use to promote this message, so your members, existing AVA members, can do the same activity. Go see if they're eligible and get their dues covered. Again, both their local membership dues and their AVA dues. And so there'll be one centralized place where clubs leaders can go and access those materials and promote them to your members. So we've had a number of requests from clubs, and instead of building out a a launch kit for each different club. You're going to have a centralized place where you can go access those materials. Henry, should I talk about the Stride program a little bit?
Yes, go ahead.
So the third program that we have recently come up with, which is to engage. There's many people that are registered for Grouper, and frequently they indicate that they're interested in walking, and we've come up with a new way to help them in their walking journey. And so those walkers, those members, were engaging them as a part of a Grouper Walks program, basically a club within Grouper to help them find walks, to help them find walking clubs. And we've had a significant amount of interest, and we will be promoting those walkers by indicating that they do want to be a member of the Grouper Walk Club. They will then have a membership. We will purchase a membership on their behalf to AVA, and we hope that they will. We're going to then do our best to help, help them find AVA walks that are close to them and get engaged. And so it's just a kind of a third way to help these folks, find their walking clubs and help them on their walking journey, if you will. So I think the thing to note about that is just they will indicate if they attend a year-round walk, they will sign in as Strider members. Strider, that's the program. That's the kind of the word that they will write, and that will be an indication they're part of this new program. I don't know if there was anything else I should say about that program, Henry.
No, I think Mike's going to give a good recap on that one here in a little bit. So we wanted to ask you to speak first because I know you had to leave. So Mike's going to kind of go through some of the processing on our end of how that works.
Yeah. So I'll just say that we're getting thousands of people registering for our benefit for our program every month, between 4,000 and 5,000, and they're looking for things to do, and walking is the top interest. And we are huge fans of the AVA and the clubs and all the work that you do that's gone into building this organization. And so that's kind of a testament to that, is that this is kind of a challenge to help these folks find their walking clubs and their how they want to pursue walking. And so the one thing that we as an organization thought would be meaningful was to introduce them to AVA. And so this is kind of a pilot program, and it's kind of, we think a little bit more of a hands-on approach to the previous program, where they were kind of discovering year-round walks on an event calendar, which has worked to some extent, but not to the extent that we want to. And so this Grouper Walks program, the Strider walkers, is the kind of next iteration of that. So yeah, it's I think that this landing page for club leaders will be a nice development. And we know that there's a ton of folks that are eligible within AVA. I think we have 40 or 50 members that are getting their checks reimbursed for their AVA and local club dues. But we know there's probably quite a few more. At this point, kind of the best way to think about it in terms of who's eligible for ABA is of any population, sorry, who's eligible for grouper is any population over the age of 65. 30% will have the grouper benefit, and in some areas closer to 40%. So we do want to just make sure that everybody has a chance to see, to register and to be aware of this program, which always takes time. So I think I can end it there, and I do have some time, so if there's any questions, happy to answer any questions. Are people pretty excited about having their AVA and local club dues reimbursed? Medium excitement? Very excited? I'm imagining all the people whose cameras are turned off giving me a thumbs up, so I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I think word's starting to get out internally too. So it's been a couple months now. So I think more and more people are, hopefully you'll see an uptick in your eligibility site.
Yep. Yeah, thank you, Steve. I'm noticing that too. And I see a comment from Priscilla. Thank you for trying to register last year, and I'm sorry that you were not eligible, but we are adding plans every year. So if you have a moment, you might want to check again. But thanks for doing it the first time.
Okay. Steve?
Let's go ahead and we got about 10 more minutes on this topic. But I think Mike has some stuff to add about how we'll be able to process these registrations. Is that right, Mike?
That's correct. And I'm going to share my screen to show you how the TE participation form entry will be changed to support Strider members. I guess that wasn't mentioned by Spencer was that the intention is for the AVA to actually reimburse the club for Strider walkers, identified Strider walkers. And so there will be a way for you to do that, and on the log sheets, and also when you enter your participation data. So I'm going to quickly share my screen. And hopefully you can see my screen here pretty well.
Yep.
And so I'm going to go to a particular club that has some outstanding participation, and then I'm going to show you a preview of a page that I have that I'm working on right now that will be deployed pretty promptly here. So they currently have one pending participation to enter, and here are the standard entry boxes that you're used to: award, credit, non-IVV. New in 2024, now we have guest and coupons, and the new boxes are child no stamp. This is now in coordination with the new policy that you can I have a participant who's age 12 or less and not stamping, or basically non-credit, and you would enter them here. And then here's the Strider category. So you will have, if a person signs in as a Strider, then you will enter them here on this particular thing. And I have also put together a little tutorial because people sometimes forget all of our different participation categories, and this gets, as we add more of these around, it gets a bit confusing. So there's now a link that will be associated with this, and just let me focus on there's words up here above that explain everything that's in this table. So rather than do the words, I'm going to do the table. I'm going to increase it. So in the left column, we have participation type, and all these participation types are reported to the AVA. And then all the different things that that participant applies to. So an awarded participant is clearly going to marked as award, but he also stamps his book, and he has to pay the club participation fee. And the club will pay $2 for that attendee later when they report their participation. A credit walker is a participant, but he's not an award participant. He didn't buy an award or didn't get an award. Stamps his books and pays. And we'll ignore the PPSF column over here because that's kind of an additional column for all types of participants. Non-IVV is a person who paid the fee, but he doesn't stamp books. And again, the club pays the $2. Here's our guest. He doesn't pay any fees. So I even put a special column for this club. He's not paid, doesn't pay any class, but the club will ultimately pay $2 for that person. So he's a guest of the club. The club is covering his $2 fee to the AVA. Child no stamp. It's a participant that's 12 or under, and clearly, well, there's no stamping here. And guess what? The club doesn't have to pay the participation fee. And then here's the interesting thing: is as a Strider participant, they are encouraged to actually stamp their books if they are the keeping books, since we kind of want to get them into that mode of operation. The club will not pay, they do not pay the participation fee to the club. They're a Strider participant, they're only at that category. The club will not pay $2 to the AVA. The AVA will pay $2 to the club, and that's the only case that will occur. And so that's been incorporated in this down here, and the formulas to calculate participation implied by that. Everyone is a participant. Not everyone is a paid participant. And then so what we do is we take the paid participants, we subtract the number of coupons that came in, and then what's different is now I will subtract the number of Strider participants. And notice they are not, a Strider participant isn't in the paid participant category. So effectively the Strider is a $2 credit, just like the coupons are $2 credits for the club. And that becomes their participation fee. And then if it's for a TE, but if you're doing this for a YRE or seasonal event, then the concept of PPSF comes in, and PPSF, if it's not PPSF, then it's the same fee. But then if it is PPSF, you didn't pay your sanctioning fee up front, so we're going to collect $1 per participant. Every one of these people, we'll collect $1 of that per participant to add to your fee for that when you report that event, either as a TE, in this case for a YRE, obviously, in your quarterly reports. So that's the quick summary of that. This covers all that. It talks a lot about new Walker packets for people, reminding what new Walker packets are, and coupons, and the fact that we only apply them to particular types of participation. Child no stamp theory, more about the Strider participation in greater detail. And then I'm talking, because we're putting this concept on our forms, we're going to add the concept of online participants. We have OSB online participants, and we have grouper E3H participants, grouper now. And both of these are online participants. And as such, people might sign the sheet now. So this is the proposed change to this log sheet. So we get rid of this checkboxes in the participation code, and we encourage people to use the codes listed here. And even if they register online, OSB, they can sign in, they don't have to, but if they do, they should put OSB. And if they are element 3 RSVP walkers, as opposed to Strider walkers. They put the RSVP here, and both of these online registers are not reported at the end of the year because they're tracked separately, and the clubs are credited according to what we receive from the online start box system and the RSVP system from Element 3. The Striders are, in fact, a participation that we do track, and you saw that there was a way to put that data into the system. And so that's the summary on that, and I'd be glad to answer any questions pretty much on what we're doing here. Sure. So RSVP is the old program, the one that's been around for 2 years. My wife just suggested I describe the difference here. RSVP, so that's an online system where they go into Element 3 and sign up, and I can show you a little bit of that if we got some time. Okay. And a Strider walker is someone who just signs up here. They have not signed in online. They have not signed up for the event online. They have signed up. They've come to the event because they found out about the event either through the website. They haven't necessarily RSVP'd, and they mark the Strider code S in the participation code spot here. Strider participants are not supposed to be AVA walkers when they join the Strider program. We hope they will become AVA walkers, and at that point transition from being Striders to being one of the more standard participant types. But initially they're not supposed to be AVA walkers. You know, somebody that has been paying and doing AVA walks for a number of years is not eligible for the Strider program.
Looks like we have a few comments in the chat session.
Well, I don't have access to that right at the moment, so let's see. You'll just have to read off if there's something of any interest.
Let's see, it was once you register for a walk, do you need to go back in and check off that you did the walk?
Okay, so who is that? What type of walk is it? If they're saying registered online, then for the online start box, yes,
Sounds like
that's
OSB,
required.
yeah.
For RSVP, actually, there is a way that if you're signed up for one of the activities, the group activities, that the club has a portal. They can go acknowledge, yes, that person was there, and now all of a sudden, the club can get more money, $1.75, as opposed to $1 for their RSVP walker. And that's been now like that for a couple of years. The Strider walker he signed in. That's it. I mean, he's signing the sheet, and that's the only way that we know about Strider walkers is through their signing our log sheets. The RSVP walker is an online RSVP, and it's they registered online as shown here.
I guess other people have seen a few people register and then cancel, but I guess
Yeah,
that's just
that happens.
pretty normal. Yeah.
That happens. I don't know how much, tell me how much time. I can certainly consume more time showing you what type of participation we've had in the past with the RSVP program. But
Well, we only have a minute or two here.
okay,
I'm just
so
looking
I'll
at
answer more
the
questions.
yeah, it sees, just a comment that we're trying to, why the Strider program was created, and it's a challenge to get new members to take a step and do something new. So yeah, that's sort
Yes,
of on the Element 3 side, I guess.
Yeah, it's an attempt to bring in more people into the AVA out of a group that
I-
aren't in the AVA.
Sorry, Steve, I'll just comment that's we're aware of that behavior that Susan mentioned, and that's kind of, one of the behaviors, more kind of example of why we created the Strider program is that, we see it as we see these members kind of showing that they're interested, but they're not not yet ready to take the step. And so hopefully with a little bit more of a hands-on approach where we're supporting them and telling them a little bit more information, that they will then go and take the step of doing the walks and learning more about the wonderful ABA clubs and organization. So
Yeah, and clubs can also put their traditional events open to grouper folks too, right? Because that'd be a better way to meet AVA folks.
absolutely, and a number of ABA clubs have done that, and that will be we're building a little landing page for ABA club leaders that there'll be information around how to do that and also kind of promotional materials for your own members to take advantage of the benefit. So, but yes, they can.
Yeah, that'd be almost like a meetup. That'd be a better way to, they wouldn't be doing it by themselves or just their friends. They'd be with some of us.
Absolutely.
Well, we're about 31 after, so any more questions about grouper or grouper AVA?
Steve, there was one last question. Can walkers who are ABA, members of an ABA club sign in as a guest? If so, we are paying for members to walk free. So, because the answer is yes, anybody could sign in as a guest on the logs. Mike, you got comments on that one?
And they, in the past, those were what we would call free walkers. And there's been a conscious decision not to support free walkers, so. They shouldn't be stamping, and my opinion, if somebody wants to walk free, they should just go to our physical start box, don't sign the logs. But this is to encourage basically clubs to have their free walkers, because we have new walkers that will sometimes say, it's okay, you can walk with us today and you don't have to pay. My club does that. And my club will be willing to pay the $2 for that person as guests. But the idea is that if they come back repeatedly, they should pay for the walk, just like all the other people in the club do.
Well, thanks so much, Spencer and Mike, for your grouper comments and information. If anybody has any other questions, you can put them in the chat. I know we have our next topic is an update on our AVA app, and we have Jeff Giddings, who's the Atlantic Region Director, and I think we also have Debbie Johnson from Broadminded Media here. So, Jeff or Debbie, you want to go ahead and kick off the app update?
Jeff?
Well, Jeff was here.
Yeah,
Here, he's there, but looks like he's having audio problems. The old headset. Oh, he said his mic is not working.
awesome.
How
Great.
convenient. Yeah.
Maybe try logging in.
Yeah, maybe drop out and rejoin. I don't know. He checked in earlier today with Hector and I. I see him shaking his head, but I don't know. No Nordo, no radio, huh? Okay. Such a deal. I think he just dropped out. Maybe he'll rejoin here in a second. Hey, Henry, while we're waiting, do we have the topics for next month's webinar?
Not yet.
Okay.
Um, maybe while we're waiting, maybe Debbie, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about who you are and what, just, well, who you are, basically.
Uh, okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Johnson, and I own a company called Broadminded Media. I have been it's a marketing and branding and app development, custom development SaaS provider. We do everything from social media and video production to websites and anything that you need to market your business and grow your business. And so that's what we specialize in. I've had my company for 31 years. So we've been around a very long time and have a lot of experience in working with a lot of different companies and building apps. My development background that I've had, we've been able to develop quite a few different types of apps for our customers. And so it's given me a lot of experience to be able to look at what you guys want to do and help, get you started off on the right foot. And Henry and I have been working for quite a few months now on a business plan for the app and putting together ideas from everything from the name of the app, doing research on competitors in the market, what the demographic would be, financials, all kinds of fun stuff like that. So that's a little bit about me and what we're in the process of doing right now. Henry?
Great. I was looking for Jeffrey.
Yeah, I was too.
Okay, well, we'll get started. Sorry, let me get my camera here. Yeah, I'm on. We'll make do. So you might have heard through the grapevine or other sources that we've been talking about a mobile walk app, and this has been something that's been kicked around for several years now. The board finally decided to go ahead and move this to the next phase, which was to come up with a business plan around the development of a mobile walk app and some financial projections. So what does that look like? What are going to be the features in the walk app? How, who are our competitors? Who's also in this business? And what are the financial projections in terms of is it going to be profitable for the ABA? And there are a lot of moving parts to this right now because as there's our clubs that we want to be obviously they're a big part of this, and so there'll have to be some work done through our governance committee, which is a board committee, to look at what's fair for clubs in terms of a walk app. So what percentage of revenue from the walk app would go back to the clubs? Clubs, there's going to be some back and forth on that with clubs to come up with the best figure or what works, kind of the win-win for clubs and the ABA. So there is that whole governance piece, which also involves protecting the proprietary rights of the ABA and clubs, proprietary information, protecting the users, when they go to download the information, so protecting their personal information. And then there's the whole development piece. And so all the governance piece is going to the governance committee. There's a third element, there's the membership. So working with the membership committee under Karen as to how do we package this and who is this for, who's the target group, how do we package the mobile app with our existing members, our current club members and ABA members, and what does that look like as well? So that ties to the membership and the marketing piece of the mobile app as well. So Debbie was engaged to help us develop the plan, and she's going to share a little bit about the plan, including maybe a possible name for the app, but
Yeah.
can't share too much at this point because there's a full presentation to the board in a couple of weeks. So you're sort of getting a sneak preview of what the board's going to get. And so the next step would be there'll be the presentation to the board. They'll have their questions, they'll kick it back, or they might say, you know what, this is not going to work. We don't see this. We don't want it. And so they'll make a decision either to move forward or not move forward. And so all the information and details will be presented to the board. A lot of this is not public information. Again, we want to protect our proprietary information, our property, because it is a competitive market right now with the walk apps. Although my personal opinion is we're not late in the game. I think we have an advantage because we're coming behind some of those like All Trails and some of the other ones that Jeff was going to talk about, maybe Debbie will. So some of those other walk apps, we have the advantage to learn from them of what they've done and kind of build on it and make our app better. So I don't think that we're behind in the game. I think this is a good time to get into the game and build off of what's already out there and make it better. So there's some distinct things that will separate our app from the ones that are out there, which I don't know if we're going to share those or not, Debbie, but you know,
Looks like Jeff's back, but I don't know if his microphone's back.
Jeff, can you hear me?
Connecting to audio and can't hear you yet. Could
Okay.
not connect to audio. Great.
So he'll jump in if he has audio. But so with that, I want to turn it over to Debbie to kind of share some of the plans of the business plan, some of the pieces of that, and then just a little bit about the financials. And then we'd also like to get your input on some of the features that you'd like to see in a mobile walk app. So Debbie?
Well, I think just to kind of build on what you were saying, we're not late in the game at all. I think there's a lot of opportunity out there. What I try to do with our clients is I look at what everybody else is doing and I say, okay, what's the best of the best? What are new ideas that they haven't thought of that people will like and will use? And so that's what we try to incorporate. And so we spent a lot of time, and I know when Jeff comes on, he's going to talk about it a little bit more, but we did do a pretty deep dive on all the competitors out there and looking at everything from what their features are, what their reviews are, and then also looking at, you know, what their downloads are per month and what their revenue is per month. And so I know it was mentioned to us prior that, you know, we are late in the game, but I kind of look at it like, you know, we're in San Antonio and there's a new Mexican restaurant opening every other week here, or every week just about it. And how many Mexican restaurants are there here? So, and some of those are really successful, and that's what we want to look for. And I think with the features that we're proposing or looking at for this app, we have a lot of opportunity for us to be successful and for us to broaden the scope of who our customer base is for ABA, and bring on new people and get people excited about walking and building social structures around the walks, more broad social structures around the walks, and then also appealing to maybe a little bit younger audience, or maybe an audience of all ages and all walks of life and all levels of fitness. And so then you can pick and customize the app to fit what you're looking to achieve. And I think that's going to set us up for a lot of success. We've been through, I think the page that I sent in the business plan had, what, 40 names on it, 50 names on it, or something like that we narrowed it down to. But we've kind of narrowed it down there. From there to, I think we're, got 5 or 6 that we're kicking around right now. And right now we have Go Walk Maps, or Go Walk, Go Walk It, Seen It Walk, playing on the word scenic, Wander Nation, Roam Rover, and Walk World. I think those are the ones that we kind of narrowed it down to from the very large list. So if you guys have any opinions on that, or tell us if we're way off base and you hate it, we'd love to hear your opinion on that. Some of the things that some of the other apps have that get good reviews and good responses are, of course, the turn-by-turn navigation. So the audio navigation that's going with it, trail ratings, offline maps. We're going to have a lot of social features, a lot of interaction, so you can create groups and clubs within the app itself and communicate with other walkers and other people who use the app. We're going to add some competitive features, and then we're going to have an ability to stream video, and a lot of safety features. ADA compliance is also going to be added in there, and we're going to make sure that it's available for, again, anyone with any variable of what their fitness is, to be able to pick and choose what walks, and make that very visual for the visually impaired, learning impaired, to be able to use the app as well. So we want to be a really all-inclusive ability for people from all walks of life to be able to use the app and be excited about it and get involved with it. And when we talk about the number of downloads, I think one of the things that was kind of funny, when I was looking at this, I'd done the financials and I started looking at what the competitors do, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's not enough. How are we going to ever do this? And then I realized, I thought that the app downloads on what I was looking at was an annual number. It was a monthly number. So yeah, we're doing I think we have the ability to do really well. In December, and that was the month that we have in the business plan, All Trails had 600,000 downloads of new users to All Trails. Komoot had 90,000 new downloads per month, and Gia had 40,000 new downloads. And you got to think, a couple of these apps that we looked at are only a few years old. And so if they're having that kind of download, now I know it takes a little while to ramp up, but it's going to give us a lot of opportunity to get the message out there. If we're providing a product that people find interesting and answer some of the gaps that are out there in the marketplace. So yeah, it's very exciting. What else do you want me to talk about on that part of the app, Henry?
I think that's good. If you can move into some of the other elements about the plan, what you put together.
Okay. So what we looked at, again, so we looked at everything from creating a mission and vision of what we want the app to be. Excuse me. Excuse me, I have a hair in my mouth. What our competitive edge is going to be. Looking at what we're going to put out for the app developers, if we're going to look at a custom development model, a SaaS model, which is software as a service, or if we're going to look at some hybrid of the two. We also looked at what the market opportunity was, how many people walk, across the nation, how many people use apps. Again, looking at a lot of market research, and then seeing what all of the competitors are charging, and kind of trying to come up with competitive pricing and a revenue model that would work for us kind of moving forward. And then we started looking at what our customer profile is, who our target market is. What does that demographic look like? What does that person look like that might be someone who would download our app or looking for an app to download that has the type of maps and type of walks that we have. We looked into marketing and branding, what we're going to need to get the name and information out there, and then a financial overview of the project. So that's what the structure of the business plan that we've put together. Again, we've done everything kind of like narrowing it down to what milestones will be for what we're looking at in order to hit a launch for next summer, early next summer, late spring. And so we're kind of backdating into that and saying this is where we're going to go with this. Can I go ahead and just mention a little bit of the financial stuff?
Sure.
So right now, I mean, again, we need to get it approved by the board, and we need to put an RFQ out. And so there's some, it's still very pliable at this point, but we're looking at a $60,000 startup fund. Then after the $60,000 during year one, we're going to start being self-funded. So we're looking at, based on what we're seeing from the competition and how long it's taking them to ramp up, our goal is to have about 3,000 new users to download our app per year during the first year, during the first 12 months. So each month. And so when you look at that, that's, again, if we're looking at what the competition is doing, it seems pretty doable, especially if we're out there, if each club is out there talking about it and getting that message out there on a grassroots level as well. And so we're all working together to bring, more users to the app. Year one, we're going to break even. Cost of goods is going to be about $195,000 based on projection. And then year two, we start making some pretty decent money. And then by year 3 and 4, the app really starts producing for us. So that's kind of a very, again, broad brush stroke of what financially we're doing. And we did take a look at, what are the pros to having an app and what are the cons to having this app? What could go wrong or what are we missing? And so we really tried to, again, do some projections and deep dive into, what are we not thinking about? Why shouldn't we do this? And when you start really paring it down and you look at it, we have every reason to do it and not a whole lot of reasons not to do it. It is, again, something that's going to keep, ABA on the cutting edge and on the forefront of bulk sporting and on walking. And it's going to give you something that people really enjoy. I mean, we live on our phones. I mean, I sleep with my phone next to me. So it's, people are used to using apps for all other parts of their life. This is definitely a place where I feel like that the consumer is going to really enjoy using this app, and it's just going to be another part of and hopefully entice them to be out more and more, being physically active and utilizing the walks and being on our trails that we've put together. So that's kind of a big broad brush stroke of everything.
So how about we dive in a little bit on the features or types of features that some of our bulk sporters would like it to have or like to see?
Yeah, I mean, you want to take some like I had mentioned, like some of the things that we had looked at from the competitors. And again, that's offline map seems to be something that's missing in a lot of the competitors. And so some of them have it, a lot of them don't. So that's definitely something that we want to have in there. The turn-by-turn navigation, of course, route planning and the maps themselves will be on there. We really try to look at the ease of use and the support that we have on the back end of the maps. And then the social features, we want to be able to create environments where people are communicating with each other and creating like hey, let's walk on every Saturday morning kind of group, and then sharing of photos, sharing of videos, guided tours that are on there. And then also kind of moving forward from that, looking at like walking challenges and things along those natures to get people really involved and working toward getting, whether it's swag or creating medals of some sort that the consumer would get sent to them. There's a lot of options there that we're going to narrow down as we kind of move forward a little bit further, and look at other ways. There's also going to be an opportunity for the consumer to do in-app purchases, so that they can do things like have a certain voice giving them the turn-by-turn thing. Oh, that's the other thing too. We have the ability to do the app in a lot of different languages. And so it can be a multilingual app. So that gives us an opportunity not only to work domestically, but also internationally as we move forward. So that's, I think, something that's really important as well. What am I missing? I know I'm missing a lot, but this was
We
Jeff's.
got,
that we were
yeah,
getting.
Jeff's back, but I think his mic is dead.
Yeah.
We got about 5 more minutes. If anybody has any questions or suggestions, I don't see any comments. One comment, Skechers has some shoes called Go Walk. Would this be a problem?
Yeah, so
we
that's one of the things that we will look at and make sure that we're not, number one, that we can get the URL, that we can trademark it. We can trademark our tagline. So we've even come up with quite a few different potential tagline ideas. And so we're going to trademark all of that, and so that we don't run into issues with any competition kind of moving forward.
So I have a question.
Yes.
With that, what what walks would be on this app? Like the ABA walks or what? You're talking about
the ABA walks. So the big, got it right here. So we're going to take all of the maps, and this is all going to be put onto the app.
okay.
I understand.
Well, will you have to pay for the app, or will it be free?
No, it is going to be, it's a revenue generation tool for ABA. And so it is going to be a paid app. We're proposing several different options in order to fund the app through membership for the app itself. And so again, it would be a membership fee. And then also there is an opportunity for in-app purchases, which will also generate more revenue for the app as well.
Yeah, and that's where the membership committee comes in, because we're trying to see how we're gonna put this together for AVA members, and then everyone who's not an AVA member. So, don't quote me on this, but it could be like, the app is a membership benefit, so it's free or is discounted to all AVA club members or something like that. And then everybody else outside of that pays the regular price. But we're still looking at how we would package everything. Obviously, also we would like to use the club map, so that's where the percentage comes in. Well, what's acceptable to clubs for that? What percentage of the app revenue will go back to clubs? That's another discussion that hasn't happened, that will be filtered through the governance committee, if you will. So that's why I said there's a lot of moving parts right now that we have to kind of get all aligned soon, if it is approved, so that we can move into development. Because until all those things are worked out, I don't see us going into development of the app.
We got about 2 more minutes. There's one comment from Ken about could the app include descriptions of landmarks along the trail?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
probably a pretty good idea. Maybe restaurants or something.
Well, not only restaurants, and again, that's another opportunity that we've put in there for if we decide to go for paid advertising to be on the app as well. So if, like, let's say, a hamburger restaurant wants to have an ad that pops up when the person is getting near or walking close to that restaurant, that's a paid advertising opportunity where we can make money through the app as well. And then as far as like giving descriptions of historical sites or things like what am I trying to say? The plants or animals along the way, we certainly can add that information as well. Because I think that's interesting to a lot of people, and that's something that we can do. We're looking at all kinds of other ways to do retention models, like a point system to keep people using the app, loyalty programs, and then also different kinds of swag discounts based on how many walks they take and how often they use the app. And then again, along with not only the advertising, we really want to try to look at ways that we can partner with like the local tourism boards or local businesses, local tech companies, you know, sports and fitness type companies as well that we can partner with to get the message out as well, both locally and on a national level. Are there any other questions?
I think, yeah, and I think we're about a minute over.
Okay.
So we'll all wave to Jeff, but we'll talk to him. Talk to him again. I think that's all I have. Henry, do you have any closing comments?
Well, no, I think if you have any questions about it, I'll speak for Jeff since he can't. Send your comments or questions to Jeff because he is the chair of the app committee. He's at the Atlantic region, so it's AT_RD@ava.org. You have that email, so if you'd send them to him, and I'm sure he'd be happy to respond since he can't right now. But thanks for joining us, Jeff. We tried. Thank you, Steve. And thank you, everyone. I don't have any further comments unless someone has questions for me.
Thank you. Anything from anybody else? Any topics you want to cover in a future webinar?
Just remind everyone there is a board meeting in a couple of weeks, and the link is on the website. All of our meetings are open to the public unless they go into executive session. So we welcome you joining us for the board meetings, and we'll have up on the agenda the big things for this next meeting will be a presentation on membership and where that committee's going with their new membership model, if you will. And we will then also dive into walk. Again, some of that might be an executive session, but there will be a board presentation on the walk app as well. I think those are the two big things coming up on the agenda.
All right. Well, 7:03, not too bad, or 3 minutes after ending. Thanks for everybody's comments and participation. Stay tuned for the next. These are what, third Wednesday every month. So
Third.
stay tuned. Yep, stay tuned for our next one, and yeah, join in on the board meeting if you have some time. And thanks to everybody for joining tonight.
All right. Thank y'all.